70 now. Because that's where, isn't it? We finished 69. Let's chant it first. Apuryamana machala pratishtham samudramapa pravishanti advat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sa shanti mapnoti na kamakami. Anjuri.
As the waters of different rivers enter the ocean, which though full on all sides remain undisturbed, likewise he in whom all enjoyments merge themselves without causing disturbance attains peace, not he who hankers after such enjoyments.
Okay then. Take the meanings. Yadvat, as. Apa, water. Meaning water from the different rivers. Okay, understood. Pravishanti, enters. Samudram, ocean. Apuryamana, full on all sides. Achala pratishtham, undisturbed. So if I want to put this much together, it means as the water from different rivers enters the ocean, though being full on all sides, remains undisturbed. Then tadvat, like that, likewise, in the same way, yam, in whom. Sarve, all. And here this all means all desires. Pravishanti, enters without causing disturbance. So likewise, in the same way, in that person in whom all vishais, means all stimuli, all objects, all triggers, enters, because through his sense organs they are entering, pravishanti, without causing disturbance, saha, that person, apnoti, attains, shanti, peace. Na, not, kama kami, the one who strives to satisfy desires, the one who hankers after desires. Kama kami. So if I have to say the whole thing, as the water from the different rivers enters the ocean, though full on all sides, remains undisturbed, in the same way, in the person where all desires enter without causing disturbance, such a person will attain peace, not the person who runs after desires. Okay? And you can see that the chanda, the meter of the verse has changed into 4 lines. Most of the time, whenever Ved Vyas wants to emphasize a point or to drive home a point, he will change the meter so that, then you fall asleep, then you suddenly have to change the meter. So you'll wake up, so you'll pay attention. So that's one trick of changing the meter so that you wake up and pay attention to what's written. So an ocean is a place where so many rivers are entering from the land, from north, south, east, west. Yet the ocean never gets disturbed. It just accepts, it just allows the water to flow into it. Right or wrong? If you have ever seen, it just allows. There is no, you can't enter, give me toll, anything, it just allows the water to come in. It never overflows also. And even though from the ocean the water may evaporate or people may take water from it to do anything, it doesn't get depleted also. So then in the same way, a sthita prajna, he's describing sthita prajna, now this is the concluding verses of sthita prajna. A sthita prajna also remains undisturbed. A sthita prajna also remains still in all conditions. In all conditions. Whether there are sense objects around or no sense objects around. Whether he is using sense objects, vishais, or not using them. Whether he is getting the objects or not getting them. Whether they are available or not available. Whatever it may be, he is quite content. He is quite still. He is quite silent. Such a sant, such a person who is sthit prajna in all situations, shanti, will be able to attain peace. And to compare it with the other kind of person, kama kami, the one who is running after objects in an attempt to feel complete, in an attempt to feel satisfied. So, I think it is Swami Chinmayananda who calls him desirer of desires. Desirer of desires. So he says he'll always be hankering after objects. He'll think, if I get this, I will be happy. If I get that, I will be satisfied. If only this thing of mine gets solved, then I have no more problems. You go to the temple, you pray, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. Okay, Bhagavan says, take it, Baba, once and for all, take it. Be satisfied. But kama kami will not be satisfied. After that, vardhan is given also. After that, boon has been granted to him. He will still find one more thing. Now give me this only. Promise, last thing, give me. I'll be happy. I'll be satisfied. Bhagavan gives that also. Then, third one. And this is the story of why we are living lifetime after lifetime, because our bucket list never gets complete. Now we'll come to buckets a little later. Wait now. Alright, so a person who is kama kami will have to keep striving to fulfill his desires, right or wrong? It's always a struggle. So if you're continuously striving, if you're continuously struggling, if you're continuously hankering, will that person be shanti or will that person be restless? Restless. So this person who is restless can never be sthita prajna. See the word sthita prajna? You have to be sthita in prajna, in knowledge. He is not sthita. Therefore, he can never attain liberation. For to attain liberation, you need to be silent and still. He will keep working to get something. But a sthita prajna also works. So what's the difference between the kama kami working and the sthita prajna working? Sthita prajna is not sitting down, kicking up his heels, putting up his feet and letting his hair down. He is also working. So what's the difference between kama kami working and sthita prajna working?
Not working for anything.
He's not working for the fruits
Not
of
working.
his actions.
Then what is he working for? Sthita prajna, why is sthita prajna working?
Towards his dharma, doing his dharma.
Doing his dharma
For the benefit of others.
for benefit of others. He is simply expressing his fullness. He's the way he's not doing also. It's happening. He is not doing also. It is simply happening. He's not planning, I should do this, I should do this. The universe is using him as an instrument for divine will. That is the best way I can express it. The universe is using him as an instrument of his divine will. And therefore, it's an expression of his happiness, whereas a kama kami is working to get happiness. The sthita prajna is working as an expression of his happiness. Okay, and that's where the difference is. Happiness is first work is coming after that in Sthita Prajna. Whereas in a Kama Kami, work is coming first and happiness may or may not come afterwards. Okay. So comparing the Sthita Prajna to the ocean, there are 4 qualities of the ocean which apply also to the Sthita Prajna. The first quality of the ocean is, as we have said right now, Anasakti. What is Anasakti? Non-attachment.
Detachment.
Yeah, detachment or non-attachment. So just as we said, the ocean remains undisturbed, unfazed in all situations, whether it is getting something, not getting something. The ocean is not bothered if the river which is flowing into it is clean or dirty. Does it say, saaf karke aa jana? Whatever, come. Does the ocean say, hey, your water is too cold, make it hot and come in? No. Whether the water is hot, cold, clean, dirty, good, bad, whether you are putting flowers in or dead body in, ocean is unfazed by all situations. Unfazed. He accepts everything. It accepts everything. And similarly, Sthita Prajna accepts, unfazed by all situations. So first thing of Sthita Prajna. Now this is like one concluding thing of Sthita Prajna. First, unfazed by all situations. The second comparison is Gambhirta. Gambhirta you can take as stable, profound. See, the ocean is very deep, right? Very deep. And it contains as much water as flows into it. Yet its level doesn't rise with water evaporation. Its level never gets low. So it remains stable. So in the same way, the Sthita Prajna doesn't have ups and downs, doesn't have highs and lows. In Sukh, he is very elevated. And in Dukh, he is very depressed. No, Sthita Prajna remains stable. So second thing is stable through all ups and downs. Then third Lakshan, Shant or Shanti. The surface of the ocean may have waves. The surface of the ocean may be turbulent. The surface of the ocean may be dirty also. But deep down in an ocean, it is still and silent. In the same way, while dealing with the outside world, while dealing with Jagat and Sansar, a Sthita Prajna may need to show anger. A Sthita Prajna may need to be harsh. A Sthita Prajna may need to say a bit of unpleasant things. But deep down, he is not at all disturbed by those superficial things which he says or does because it is the need of the Shishya to whom he is saying it. So like the ocean, the Sthita Prajna, in the surface may be anger, but deep down there is perfect calmness. Even the anger is a uppar ka anger. The anger has not gone into his mind, is not affecting him. He doesn't go into the ladder of downfall because of that anger. And the fourth Lakshan, Purnata, completeness. The ocean is complete by itself. He's not asking the rivers, hey, come, give me some water. He's allowing the water to come also. He's allowing the water to get evaporated also. It's giving water also to the rivers. How? How does the ocean give water to the rivers? Rain cycle. Rain cycle. It's actually giving water to the rivers. It's not only taking. In the same way, the Sthita Prajna is complete as he is. He does not need any object to complete him. So, can you tell me the 4 Lakshans now in short of a Sthita Prajna? Unfazed in all situations.
Stable.
Stable through all ups and downs. Calm deep down, no matter what the surface is. And fourth, complete. Okay? So, since we are not going to meet for at least 1 month or 1.5 months, I'm going to give you several things to do for that time. And your first sadhana is, which I was going to bring one sheet, but why should I bring that sheet and make it easy for you? You make the sheet. On one side you write wants, other side you write needs, make a line down the center, and every time you want to acquire something, get something, fill it up. Is what I wanted to get, what I was hankering for, what I wanted, was it really a need or was it a desire? Make that list and see how many of your things are real needs, and be honest, okay? Need means your existence depends on it. Desire, your existence doesn't depend on it. Dal roti, your existence depends on it. Pizza, your existence doesn't depend on it. Right? Give me some more examples. AC, your need doesn't depend on it. Bigger house, your existence doesn't depend on it. Bigger car, existence doesn't depend on it. Car, also existence doesn't depend on it. Then, cell phone, naya cell phone. Purana, maybe in a kumbh, yes, it will depend on it.
Might be impossible to count Kumbh without phone.
Without phone, kumbh mein you will not find anything. That much also I'll tell you. Alright, so like that.
For the kumbh, the phone is a need.
Need. But only for your 1 or 2 days, whoever, if anybody is coming. After that, you can give it to me. Alright. Designer clothes. Need or want?
Want.
Designer shoes.
Want.
Soft pillow. Cozy blanket. Got the message.
More than 2 pairs of clothes.
That's it. So that's your first homework, okay? Let's go to verse number 71.